Hey everyone, welcome to our Zoom meeting, How to Prevent AI from Stealing Your Job. This is not an official SAG AFTRA event. I'm Heather Ashley Boyer. I graduated from Cornell and I'm an actor now, and I have been very focused on AI. I've been talking about that a lot out on the picket lines for the last number of months. And it's something that I'm personally pretty concerned about. I had prior knowledge of AI from like 3.5 years ago from a video that I happened to watch, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty serious. And no one was talking about it at the time, but here we are. And yeah, so I've attended a lot of the webinars, the VFX presentations, which have been very informative. They've all covered kind of different topics within VFX and AI and all of that, but mostly from like a Hollywood perspective. So I wanted to bring on Dr. Peter Park, who's from MIT, and he is not affiliated with Hollywood in any way. And also Melissa Medína, who has kind of a foot in both worlds. She is an actor while also uh, she has a tech background and is very informed on this, kind of similarly to me, um, almost like a Justine Bateman type of person. Yeah, but so welcome everyone. We are recording, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I wanted to absolutely thank Sean Sharma for letting us use his Zoom room. Very generous. And just for being like an encouraging, supportive person through all of this. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna read a quick introduction about Peter so that we all have or Dr. Park. Um, yes, so Dr. Park is an MIT postdoc in AI Existential Safety, working closely with Max Tegmark, one of Time's top 10 most influential people in AI, and the director of StakeOut.AI. Dr. Park is the director of StakeOut.AI. Dr. Park's AI research has been cited by leading experts in the field, such as Geoffrey Hinton, who's the godfather of AI. He created AI using neural networks through Google DeepMind, and also Joshua
Joshua Bengio.
Bengio. Thank you. Okay, take it away, Dr. Park.
Thank you so much for the extremely kind words and introduction, Heather Ashley. Just want to say my postdoc mentor, Max Tegmark, is Time's top 100 most influential people. I just like the one of the Times top 100 lists. So yeah, 'cause I think there might have been a typo saying it was 10 or so it's top 100. But anyway, thank you so much for the honor of attending. Like I'm extremely honored to be able to give this presentation and to have you in the audience. I am presenting as the director and co-founder of the nonprofit StakeOut.AI, which is a nonprofit very recently co-founded to uh, very recently co-founded to inform people about the risks posed by advanced AI to their jobs, their economic livelihoods, in addition to their safety. So our focus is on educating and raising awareness on the threat that advanced AI poses to people's jobs and to people's safety, with the ultimate goal of raising enough awareness where governments and policymakers can't ignore us anymore, and we will have meaningful policies and laws passed to help robustly make AI go well for humans to prevent this threat from happening. So that's us, Stakeout AI. And the title of this talk is How to Prevent AI from Stealing Your Job, not an official SAG AFTRA event. So without further ado, let's get started. So um, I want to start with a few examples about the AI systems that already exist. So generative AI systems and the capabilities that already exist. This is a good window and a good glimpse into what is about to come. So this is actually a very well-known genre called President's U.S. presidents play Minecraft, U.S. presidents play X. But here it's actually about AI safety, which is actually pretty fun. So let's watch the first few minutes of this.
Hey guys.
What's up, Barack?
Hi there, Sleepy Joe.
For our viewers, let's explain what we're doing. Eliezer Yudkowsky recently wrote a Time article about how AI will kill everyone unless we shut down the expensive training runs. I read this article, and though I found it hyperbolic, I thought it made concerning points. After consulting more with experts in and around the field, I concluded that Eliezer's stance is reasonable. I agree. We should shut down AI development.
Bigly. I mean, I thought this sounded kind of bogus, to be honest, and I never thought I'd be agreeing with Barack Hussein Obama, but this issue is important.
I also...
Shut up, Joe. No one cares.
Will you shut up, man? This is so unpresidential.
Let's put aside these petty disputes. Remember what we're here to do.
Fine.
As I was saying, I also found this article concerning.
So, we asked to see what we can do.
So this is a very well-known genre of generated AI voice. I think it's already very, very good. And it's requiring a very, I would say, a pretty small amount of training data. If you can get a few snippets of a voice actor or even just a normal person, like a private citizen, what they say, that audio file, it's very possible, even with current AI systems, to be able to replicate with high fidelity that person's unique style of voice, which is a problem in many ways. For private citizens, it opens the door for fake kidnapping schemes. A mother, in real life, this actually happened. A mother got a phone call from who she thought was her kidnapped daughter, but it was actually a scammer trying to scam her for money. But not just private citizens. It's also going to be voice actors are potentially going to be affected and are already arguably being affected right now economically in a very real way. So that's one example I wanted to start with. Another example I wanted to show you is this model named Aitana, claimed on social media to be model from Barcelona, biographical details XYZ. But in reality, of course, she is created by Gen AI. Her creators say she can earn up to 10,000 euros a month, which is quite a lot. On average, it's about like 3,000. But already, these are systems that exist right now. This is not future extrapolation, and we already see the window we have into the likely more capable Gen AI systems of the future is already quite an impressive array of capabilities that we already see right now. Next thing I want to show you is this ad. It very recently came out, maybe like 1 or 2 days ago. And because it recently came out, I thought it'd be best to show it to you because I think this is going to be very important context and information, especially for the SAG AFTRA members that are attending here today. So the quote here is just type it. Look for it in the ad. We gotta take it to that. This is from a company called Pika, an AI text-to-video Gen AI company. This ad turned out to be largely comprised of animation type video output So I'm going to share with you another example of what this technology can do. This was done with Pika and Midjourney. So AI-generated images used to make AI-generated videos and then combine into an AI-generated short film. So again, this is mainly presented as a glimpse of what we are likely to see in the future.
Oh, look who's here. Oh, who are you?
I knew he would send it.
Sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
So this is the team behind Pika AI. They dropped out of Stanford's computer science PhD program to build this text to video Gen AI. And I think the significance of text to video Gen AI, especially for SAG AFTRA members, is very high level of significance because, to quote Picasso Demigo, we're not trying to build a product for film production. What we're trying to do is something more for everyday consumers. So this is relevant because the SAG-AFTRA contract negotiation and strike, with the studios, this whole thing is like the actors and the studios. But what I'm here trying to present evidence of is that these are not the only two parties at play. There's also the direct-to-consumer option, text-to-video Gen AI, that also has to be considered in what's likely to happen in the future of the film industry or the video industry. And this team is young, but I will say this, they are extremely talented. They are getting a lot of investments, they're getting a lot of investor frenzy. This is what they're aiming to do. Their technology is it's arguably promising, but like the short film we saw, like it is promising, but still not quite there yet in terms of a complete automation threat for the traditional way of making films. But I would say this is an extremely impressive team, and I wouldn't count them out in terms of their ability to achieve their mission, which is to have a direct-to-consumer text-to-video Gen AI system. So this is, a special example of what I think is the ultimate question that's going to be relevant, not just for SAG-AFTRA members, but also for increasing array of human occupations and human livelihoods types of jobs. Will AI augment us humans, or will it replace us humans? This is going to be the ultimate question. And I think people of every industry, humans of every occupation, needs to start asking this question. Because there's not a guarantee that AI won't replace us. In fact, there is a concept known as the Turing trap. The Turing, of course, the name Turing trap comes from the Turing test, where Alan Turing, famous for many uh, mathematical and scientific contributions, one of which was the Turing test, which is the idea that, oh yeah, if there was an artificial intelligence, one important test that would be an important benchmark to consider is like, can it imitate a human with high fidelity? Like if there was a tester who was aiming to differentiate whether uh, the output was being created by a human or by an artificial intelligence, can they pass that test? So this is the Turing test and the Turing trap, which is a concept uh, about this question of will AI augment us humans or replace us, is precisely the trap where entrepreneurs and executives who find that they can use AI to replace human occupations and human livelihoods, they can and often will replace humans in those tasks. So if they can do it, they will do it, which means all the economic incentives are pointing in that direction. So if uh, like the way AI augments us humans rather than replaces us is maybe not going to happen naturally. Maybe it needs a counterforce to all this economic incentives pointing in this direction of trying to cut labor costs from companies' bottom line. So here's an very theoretical idea I just presented. So here's an actual concrete example of an AI replacement dynamic that has already happened. The digital artist. Think of the fate of the digital artist. So, you know, the AI landscape has been evolving so fast, and here is a very crucial example of this. Remember last year? Do you remember Gen AI art output and how I would say bad they are compared to the output today? So this is Midjourney from July 2022, when it was prompted street style photo of a woman shot on Kodak. This is what it outputted. So even though, like, even at that time, the art models were still good enough where if you're lucky or if you play with the prompts in a certain way, if you tinker with them enough, you could get uh artwork of decent aesthetic quality. Decent now aesthetic, what is aesthetic quality? That's a whole nother debate that I'm not qualified to judge. But uh in a lot of ways, the Midjourney from July 2022, it was arguably promising, but it was still at the level of a party trick. If you're prescient, then you might be like, oh, this is like still promising and it's going to be an important glimpse of what we're going to see in the future. And if a prescient person thought that, then they would have been right because this is Midjourney just 1 year later, same prompt. Look at how, photorealistic, how, again, sidestepping the whole debate of what is aesthetic quality. But I would say it's pretty clear that AI capability for Gen AI art has increased to a very high level compared to in July 2022. I will be blunt. Arguably, something close to a complete automation threat has already been achieved by Gen AI art companies. And digital artists really have it tough. And I'm in conversation, StakeOut.AI is in conversation with many of these digital artists and their advocates. And we can assure you that it's very tough for digital artists' economic outlook. And this is a very concrete example of an AI replacement dynamic rather than an AI augmentation dynamic. It's important to mention that AI replacement is not just a threat to workers and to professionals. It's also a threat to the companies, specifically the non-big tech companies. And it's been quite surprising that the companies themselves haven't figured this out. So here, like, I'm going to show you similar, I would say similar situation, similar tweets. So here you see OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. You probably heard about them after their whole debacle drama over Sam Altman getting fired by the board, the nonprofit board, nonprofit that's in charge of the company, and then negotiating his way back to being CEO again. Um, so that was a huge drama. Uh, that company, OpenAI, famous for creating ChatGPT. Um, Here is OpenAI announcing that ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak and users will be able to have voice conversations with ChatGPT and so on and so forth. And you see already in the comments, someone says, "So how many startups just died in the last 5 minutes?" Uh, Basically saying this announcement basically just killed a bunch of startups because a bunch of startups were angling to fill in that niche of um, being like, oh, ChatGPTs, we're going to be trying to be augmented by ChatGPT and be complementary so that we have leverage too, we benefit from it too. It turns out that they were replaced very easily by the people in OpenAI. Again, Alex, this is another tweet. Many startups just died today because OpenAI added PDF chat. There were a lot of startups that were actually, this was their whole strategy of trying to be the PDF chat to OpenAI's ChatGPT model, and then OpenAI just added that functionality, thereby just killing many startups. Third time's the charm, perhaps, but perhaps not. There was Dev Day. OpenAI had a development day where it announced a bunch of complementary products to its ChatGPT, to its base model GPT-4. And again, same joke. How many AI startups just died after this announcement? Seems like even the companies never learn. So this is important for SAG-AFTRA for this from the studio's angle, right? Because you always assume like, oh, we have a pie and we're doing a contract negotiation to see who should get more of the pie. And this is a very real dynamic. But you have to also realize that there is a third party from the outside that's also trying to, you know, see if they can just take the pie wholesale. That if they can do it, I would bet a lot of, I would bet that they will do it if they can do it. So the joke here, specific joke here would be, or a specific insight here would be, if OpenAI engineers can do it in an hackathon in the evening, and your company is trying to, ride the AI wave and make this your strategy, it's not going to work. OpenAI is going to uh, just replace you, and your strategy will not work. So this is to say AI replacement is not just a threat to replacing the workers and professionals among us, but it's also the companies as well, including, I think, for the studios. So, important question, will AI capabilities continue to advance? Very, very difficult to predict the future, and even more difficult to predict precisely the trajectory of future AI capabilities. Nobody really has a good principled way of doing this. It's good. There's going to be a variety of methods. A lot of people are just going to rely on their gut. Nobody knows how to do it accurately. So let's get that out of the way. But in terms of the general trend, will AI capabilities continue to advance? My personal take is like, yes, all signs point towards that way. I can't precisely predict the rate at which they'll advance, the rate at which certain benchmarks will be passed. But let's just think of the big picture trends. Moore's law, the exponential growth of computing for the past over 100 years. This is where every certain amount of time, compute gets way cheaper. And this is exponential, or here it's like slightly faster than exponential. Exponential depicted here would be a straight line graph. This is super exponential by slightly. So we have a super exponential growth of computing. Compute is getting cheaper and cheaper. And to refer to Professor Rich Sutton's prediction, his extrapolation from this Moore's law trend, human brain scale computer power, by some measures, is projected to cost just $1,000 by 2030. Imagine that. Human brain scale computing power is projected to cost just $1,000 in just 6 to 7 years. Now, I just want to mention here, as a quick aside, Professor Rich Sutton is a leading researcher, leading figure in AI. He's also very controversial. So he literally wrote the textbook on AI reinforcement learning, very big pioneer of that field. He was the first ever advisor of DeepMind, now Google DeepMind. So he's not just a crazy person. Like he's a very, his intellectual ability in terms of AI should not be underestimated. It is by far, like very pioneering. On the other hand, he did give a talk titled AI Succession at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai. This was a real academic talk at a real academic conference in which Professor Rich Sutton uh, basically said uh, humans will be replaced by AI, and we should not resist. We should prepare for succession. Uh, Now, if you think that's hyperbole, please check out the URL here, bit.ly/AI succession, all lowercase, no space bars, to get a sense. And I want to mention this one because the technical aspects of this talk are, I would say, quite prescient, and that's why I referred to it in this talk. I talked about Moore's law. This reference is from Professor Rich Sutton's talk. But I would say the socio-technical, socioeconomic parts where um, should we let humans be replaced by AI? Not just economically replaced, which is horrible enough, but like replaced as a species. Like this is a potential successor species. So for that discussion, I think it's important to check out this talk by Professor Rich Sutton, bit.ly/AI succession. Spoiler alert, he outlined a plan to have AIs replace humans as a species. He asked for funding, and he got a funding partner. He got a partner after the talk. So that's the spoiler alert. Uh, very very controversial. Very it's like a cliffhanger. So please check that uh, academic talk when you have time. But anyway, let's get back to the question. Will AI capabilities continue to advance? AI companies' mission, uh, Moore's law is pretty clear sign, like is a good bet that it'll continue to advance. AI companies have missions that are all very clearly pro AI capabilities. OpenAI's mission, for example, is to create highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work. So AI, if they have not achieved this yet, but this is their stated mission in their charter and so on. And they're getting a lot of funding to do that. There's a lot of investor frenzy, especially after OpenAI's ChatGPT. So in terms of the resources going into AI development, in terms of compute getting cheaper and cheaper, super exponentially, yes, I would say it's a good bet that AI capabilities will continue to advance, and this will also affect Gen AI for video and films as well. So I realize that it's been 30 minutes, so I'll be trying to quickly go through the next slide so that we have enough time for questions. Question number one. Well, this is I want to walk through various aspects of like, will X save the day? Will Y save the day? And so on. Number one, will watermarking save the day? I I haven't so the contractual clauses for a SAG AFTRA contract, I really defer to my co-founder, StakeOut.AI co-founder and chief legal officer, Amy Frieder. She told me that watermarking was a big part of the SAG AFTRA tentative agreement. And question is, will watermarking save the day in terms of the economic replacement threat for SAG AFTRA workers? My expertise is not in law, but in AI. So I will give you the AI researcher's perspective on this. I would not, I do not think watermarking is likely to be a robust protection. Here is a recent preprint about the proven impossibility of strong watermarking for generative models. I know the lead author, Hanlin Zhang. He's a Harvard PhD computer scientist student. Quote, we prove that under well-specified and natural assumptions, strong watermarking is impossible to achieve. So please read this paper. And if you have any questions about this paper, it's like, oh, like this is the assumptions behind this theorem, this mathematically proven statement reasonable, and are they likely to apply to the real world? If you have questions like that, please feel free to email me at dr_park@mit.edu. We'll also send this in the chat. We'll you can also find it on my website as well. And so will watermarking save the day? They mathematically prove that strong watermarking is impossible to achieve. Empirically, this seems to be suggested as well. To quote Wharton UPenn professor Ethan Mollick, AI work is ultimately undetectable despite the recent discussion of watermarking. So I'm very, you realize that I've been very, I'd say, I don't want to like commit to strong statements about like how will the future look like for AI, because I don't think anyone can accurately predict that. But I think I can make a slightly stronger case for will watermarking save the day? And my answer would be like probably not. Next question is, will copyright save the day? So here, if Amy can jump in, Amy Frieder, extremely impressive person, worker site lawyer from Harvard Law School, is a U.S. veteran, was an intelligence officer for the U.S. Air Force's Cyber Command. Extremely impressive person. She is qualified to give legal advice, unlike me, because I'm not a lawyer. So do you want to jump in here, Amy? Will copyright save the day?
Thank you for all of that. Just to clarify, the watermarking has been presented as a potential solution, not necessarily from the contract, but there have been conversations about this as a potential solution going forward. So back to answer this question, this is not legal advice, and I'm not a copyright expert. However, the title of this talk is how to prevent AI from stealing our jobs. And ultimately it goes back to people power and worker power. And there is a process in federal government agencies where people can comment on potential regulations. And actually right now, there's an opportunity for all of us on this call and everyone else in the US, if they want, to submit a comment to the US Copyright Office on artificial intelligence and copyright. StakeOut.AI has already submitted a comment to the US Copyright Office, and you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a lawyer, a policy person. You don't have to know, very, very much. You don't have to write an essay. You don't have to write a paper or report. You can just write a few sentences if you want. I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat. But there are thousands and thousands of comments in there, and I've seen many comments from people who are in the entertainment industry and just want their voices to be heard. And there are staffers at the U.S. Copyright Office and in federal agencies who read these comments and will tally and keep track of what people say. So this is a pleasant surprise in that the deadline had actually already passed, and they decided to extend the deadline to allow more people to provide input. So I dropped the link in the chat, and the deadline is December 6th. So if you would like to weigh in and let them know, what you think and how copyright can or should protect workers from AI and protect jobs, then that is an opportunity to do so. Another way to weigh in is that there's federal legislation called the No Fakes Act, which stands for Nurture Originals, Foster Art, and Keep Entertainment Safe Act of 2023. And the draft legislation would hold individuals or companies liable if they produce an unauthorized digital replica of an individual in a performance, hold platforms liable for hosting an unauthorized digital replica if the platform has knowledge of the fact that the replica was not authorized by the individual depicted. However, there are certain exclusions that, several exclusions, such as, news, public affairs, or sports broadcasts, and certain documentaries. So This legislation has bipartisan support, which is really great. The lead sponsors are Senators Chris Coons from Delaware, Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, and Tom Tillis from North Carolina. So it's really great that there's bipartisan support. But if you call your member of Congress, call your senator, and let them know what you think of this legislation. That is another way to be heard and to weigh in. So I will drop a link to the one pager on the No Fakes Act in the chat as well. And Dr. Park and I actually just came from a talk in which Liz Schuler, who's the president of the AFL-CIO, and Sean O'Brien, who's the president of the Teamsters, were specifically talking about AI and the threat to labor. And so, they care a lot about this issue. Labor leaders care a lot about this issue. But there's only so much they can do without grassroots support. The government agencies need to hear from people, and Congress needs to hear from people in order for this to get done. We heard a lot from Dr. Park about how the tech has advanced really, really quickly, and unfortunately, our legislative processes tend to not be as quick. And so this is an urgent, in a pretty urgent situation, requiring people power and worker power.
Thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate your take here. I just remember Amy sent 2 links in the chat. Number 1 is how to submit a comment to the U.S. Copyright Office about AI and copyright. Number 2 is a 1-pager about the No Fakes Act. So please check out those links. Thank you so much, Amy. So will copyright save the day? I think the answer is time will tell. We'll have to fight the fight. Final question. Will new government policies and laws save the day? I personally am most optimistic about this. They can. And in fact, I would argue that a permanent solution to the AI-driven disempowerment problem, the problem of AI disempowering us by automating our work, models being trained on our copyrighted hard work, with that we have not given the AI companies consent to use, and those models then competing against us in the marketplace, very unfair. What is a permanent solution to this? Whatever it is, it will require at least partially new policies and laws. The problem right now is that only a small number of people in our society, in our country, in the world, take this threat seriously. Despite, I think, the compelling evidence I have shown that AI progress has been rapid and is likely to be rapid going forward, only a small number of people extrapolate the threat to the near future and take the threat seriously. And here is a very optimistic and empowering message I want to give to you, to the SAG AFTRA members in this call. Films about the threat posed by advanced AI can help more people in our country and in the world realize that this threat should be taken seriously on a both emotional and factual level. Very famously, President Biden wanted to move fast on AI safeguards and signed an executive order after he watched Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, where the film's villain is a sentient and rogue AI known as the Entity that sinks a submarine and kills its crew in the opening minutes. So President Biden might have signed this executive order, which is very meaningful AI regulations, and arguably because there's, generally speaking, U.S. government's regulations on AI has been quite lacking so far. So this is the one exception, and it might have been at least partially incentivized by President Biden watching Mission Impossible. So the optimistic call to arms I want to end with is, actors, humanity needs your help. Regardless of whether you vote yes or no on the contract, please talk to your trusted, friends and family, your agents, your lawyers. But, independent of that, when actors, humanity needs your help. We need more movies that President Biden or the next, president, whoever that is, whoever wins the election, policymakers, politicians, and also just just voters, like all people in our society, can watch and be informed at both a factual and emotional level about the threats posed by advanced AI. And I think it's especially important that like the SAG AFTRA members, the creatives uh, take the stand here, lead the charge here, because prescient extrapolations into the future, I think creatives are often really, really good at it. There's no one else who can do it better, honestly. Not even the AI researchers like myself. So please, uh, please consider doing this. Please let me know how we at StakeOut AI can help in doing this, and any other question you have about the contract, about how to make, what kinds of advanced AI movies you might make. Uh, we have a very strong co-founding team. Uh, we'd be very happy to help you in any way we can. That is our mission as a nonprofit of StakeOut AI. So, in conclusion, thank you so much for your time. And I'm extremely honored by this opportunity, and I love to hear your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Park. Yes, so if everyone could raise their hand on the little feature down below on Zoom, that would be great, and I'll take your questions. Awesome, okay. Okay, how do I think Melissa Medina, I saw, who is also a speaker. We're gonna have her speak next, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for letting me come on and for sharing that valuable information. It's so important, especially to have practical examples like that, I think is huge. Because we can sort of deny or downplay things all we want, but when it's right in front of your face, it's a lot harder to do, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Also, the point about speaking up for legislation is huge. I know a couple of folks that are here today probably saw a video that I posted a couple of weeks ago about that very thing, the public comment period. It goes over specific questions that are pertinent to actors specifically as well, which questions they want answers to. So if anybody on the actor side might be a little overwhelmed or intimidated by all of the information that you're getting when you go to that website, reach out, or I can post the video or whatever to try to help talk about what might be pertinent to actors, because there's a lot in there too, asking for public comment from folks like yourself that are AI professionals. But I think there's plenty of room to comment for actors and people in entertainment too, specifically with those questions that they're asking. So yeah, I think the other thing that I wanted to just make mention of, as far as like SAG AFTRA and the actors go, is all of this. Like, I just want to reiterate how valuable this is to see. I think that there's been a lot of conflation of terminology, right? Between like digital double, CG, AI, and generative AI, right? And I think one of the things that, at least to me, hasn't been touched on super accurately is generative AI and what it can and can't do. So that's kind of why I'm glad everybody's here paying attention to this, because I think that, there's a big difference between a digital double and what generative AI can do, and what it will be able to do in the future if we extrapolate at the very least to say, back when AI couldn't make hands, and now it can. That was what, a matter of months, right? So we see iterative improvement over time, very, very much. So I think it makes sense to, one, not be scared, but two, pay attention and give value to what AI can do. and not downplay it. So I don't know. I really appreciate the information that you put out there, the very specific examples, because that's so needed right now.
Thank you so much, Miss Medina.
Yeah,
I'm really honored to hear that. And
yeah.
if if you have any questions either now or like later, just email us. Just let us know. We're here to help. That's our mission.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. We're going to go to Lorraine Montez next.
Hi. So first of all, thank you for doing this. Heather, special shout out to you. I found you on Instagram when I was following Justine Bateman and Nicolas Cage on this, and you're doing an amazing job. And I added Justine and she liked your post. So
Oh my goodness, thank you. Such a
yeah,
compliment.
they're really into this. So I have just two questions for you. In addition to being a SAG AFTRA actor, I am a producer. So my question is, how
Fantastic.
can I, as a producer, help ensure, obviously I'm going to be hiring human actors. What else can I do as a producer to help support everything you're doing? And my second question is, how can I continue to support StakeOut.AI?
Well, that's a so I think I can answer in two relevant points here. Number one is what can you do in the broader fight as Lorraine Miss Montez what can you do in the broader fight, and also how can you help stake out AI? So these are, I think, two important questions. On the first one, I think, like, to keep it simple, just do your job really well. Just produce really well, and with a special focus on the threat posed by advanced AI in the future, in the near future. I think that is gonna be. I don't know. This is you're the world's best at this. So why don't you lean on your strengths and produce the best movies, but with a focus on the threat posed by advanced AI. Do I have specifics? I'd be very happy to help you brainstorm and to fact check with AI research existing today. But I think, on the creative side, I really defer to your expertise here. I'm just pointing you towards what I think is a good direction. As for how you could help stake out AI, I would say number one, please get out the word. Our mission is to raise awareness and provide educational materials. And it's really helpful for like it's really helpful if our educational materials reach more and more people, because then we're like a more and more united, more and more broader and stronger movement. Not just stake out AI, but like we're the people the grassroots people who want to cooperate and collaborate to make AI go well for humans, to make sure human interests are fought for and well protected. So please spread the word on both StakeOut AI's educational materials and also for just the real threat that I think advanced AI poses, and I think you are convinced as well, and how we need to not underestimate the threat, how we need to take the threat seriously because of these reasons we already see today, but also because of extrapolating future trends. So just please spread the word. That's probably the second suggestion I have, in addition to do your job really well with a focus on creative films and other creative works about advanced AI.
And just to add to that,
Yes,
thank you
please, Amy.
both. Thank you for both of those amazing questions. So we haven't done this yet, but we are open to assisting if there are any technical, if you're working on a project and the subject is artificial intelligence and threats and things like that, and you need technical assistance, or you want to run an idea by someone who has studied AI, we would love to be considered and be in those conversations where we can provide technical assistance. We also, for this would help us a lot. We would like feedback on this talk. And so our co-founder, Harry, will drop a link to a feedback form in the chat at the end of this. And so we would really appreciate positive feedback so that we can, improve future talks and also use positive testimonials in the future to help us keep going and work on getting funding. So we're in the process of becoming a 501c3. So once we have that finalized, there will be, financial ways to support us as well.
Thank you so much. This was really important. Number one, please fill out the feedback form. This is really important for all the reasons Amy said. We'll double check and make sure to alert you when the feedback form's on the chat. And second, we're a co-founding team with with both specialized expertise, but we're also very good generalists. If you want to get something done and you need our help, whatever help that may be, it's very likely that we will be able to help. Even though I'm an AI researcher, even though Amy's employment lawyer and U.S. veteran intelligence officer, even though Harry Luck is a data marketing genius with loads of experience in that field, we are not limited to those skill sets. Whatever you need help on, we'll see what we can do. So please be in contact with us if there's even a chance that we'd be able to help you in whatever various, regardless of the actual task you had in mind.
And I just dropped the feedback link in the chat, and so did Harry. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so both Amy and Harry dropped the same link. That's actually so Heather Ashley, it's been 54 minutes. So maybe would it be a good use of time to ask everyone to fill out this feedback form for maybe 2 to 5 minutes. And once that's done, we move on to Miss Melissa Medina's.
Okay, I think Melissa Medina is going to wrap things up. I'm sorry we didn't get to her as much as I was hoping to. But yeah, she is, as I mentioned, an actor as well as someone who has worked in the tech field. She's an actor, singer, and former IT professional Melissa is an actor, singer, and former IT professional known for their work in Starfield, Aliens, Fireteam, Star Wars, Trolls, and more. Commercials in English and Spanish, trailer and promo work, and with a 10-year background in IT, data visualization, and analytics. Melissa is passionate about AI safety, education, and tech literacy in the arts. So she's a great resource and really specializes in kind of taking the tech world language of what's going on in the tech world and really making that understandable for people who are in the acting world, voiceover artists, all of that sort of thing. So Melissa, we're really honored to have you here, and we would love to hear what your thoughts are on all of this, and especially how you feel like the voiceover world is impacted by AI, and any concerns you may have or suggestions or solutions. We're really just here to hear from your, unique areas of expertise on this. Take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think I'll just put a button on this and kind of wrap up what we've talked about, because there's been a lot of really valuable information. I think when it comes to what we can do, because I know a lot of this stuff is really scary, right? It's scary to know the breadth of the threat that we're dealing with, but we cannot fix it until we know that, right? So it's incredibly important and amazing that all of us are here to learn. I think that is the thing that not only is going to bring us together, but it will ensure our safety in the future. My main thing that I have been doing, and I've been releasing a lot of informative videos about AI technology, how it crosses over into the SAG agreement, some of the things that the SAG agreement doesn't seem to cover. and some concerns that I have as an actor. And I think that we all have very similar concerns. And it's not just for voice actors. I think it was Pam, somebody's point there, that voice actors are not the only ones that are affected by this, right? It is stunt performers, it is creature performers, it is people who play non-humans. And all of that kind of comes together in this agreement. And so, yeah, is it perfect? I don't think so. But it's up to us to figure out what risks we're willing to take, right? And I think the important thing that keeps getting hammered home that I really agree with is informed consent. You cannot consent if you don't understand what you're consenting to. So informed consent is very important, and I think that's a step that everyone here is taking. And I think it's hugely commendable to share that information and share that expertise. So, again, thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you for letting me, put in my 2 cents. Thank Dr. Park and Amy as well. I think everybody has the same goal, which is to share information and make sure that everyone makes a decision about what they want to do with AI moving forward in the most informed way. That being said, I think the best thing that all of us can do, and again, a thing that I talk about a lot, is show solidarity. And by that, I mean support nonprofit organizations like this, who are trying to spread information that is not biased, information that is there to give you a flashlight so that you can make it to the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? In whatever way you choose. And I think that's massively important. That's all I have been trying to do as well, is decode AI concepts for actors and say, you know what, this is not really in this tentative agreement, and maybe it should be. So we all get to share information. And I think the most important thing we can do is share information. Share this stuff that you heard today. Share anything that you see about AI in general. I think amplifying information about AI is the best thing that you can do. And understand that whatever we see is just what is publicly available, and there's a lot more progress being made that we don't see. So by the time it gets to us, the end consumer, there's far more advances that we're not aware of, right? And so we need to be aware of that, and we need to make decisions that take into account that we don't know everything, and that generative AI is a tool, right? It is a tool. It's not the bad guy. It's the folks using that tool and how they choose to use it. That is, I think, the thing that is really important to keep in mind. And so, like any tool, it can be misused, right? And I think we're all very aware of that. But I think my takeaway is to look around and see how many people are sharing information, how many people care, how many people are concerned just like you, and how many people see that what we have right now in the contract, it's not perfect and it never will be. That's why we have renegotiation periods, right? But can we move forward in the safest way possible for the next 3 years? As we see this technology progresses, it's made to progress very quickly. So the best thing that we can do is share information and choose our own way in the most informed way possible. And I think all of you here today are doing that. So I think that's what you can do. Also know that just because, some things like voice actor stipulations aren't the central focus of this agreement, that it is still important. And these things only get addressed when you talk about them, and they only get addressed when you pass along your concerns in a constructive way. And I know that's all I've been trying to do in my videos, right? And I've gotten a lot of great feedback from folks saying that's exactly what I was worried about, and thank you for putting that into words. And I think that's what we need everybody to do, is just share information, and not just amongst actors. I think it's important that we learn lessons from other folks as well, like VFX artists. There were great Zoom meetings, by the way, from VFX artists talking about what a digital double is, what it can do, what it can't do, what the limitations are. But again, the main thing that we need to understand is there's a difference between digital double and AI, right? And so we need to be able to speak in an informed way when we speak up about the contract and however you feel about that. So I think right now the best thing we can do is share as much information as possible, so that people can make informed decisions, just like they make informed consent. So that's kind of my piece on this. I take heart in knowing that there are people out there who care. There are people out there who hear you and hear your concerns, especially for historically overlooked audiences here, like voice actors, like stunt performers, like mocap folks. And often, you know, we're also still negotiating the interactive contract, which is also affected by this. So these discussions are not going anywhere. And so there's going to be more of them. There's going to be more information. So try not to get fatigued, I would say. Try to take a moment away from the existential dread if you can, to remember why you do this, why you love being an actor, why you love what you do. And I think that certainly lit a fire under my butt about this, to go, I would like to continue doing this for the next 10 to 15 years. And what can I do to ensure that? So I just kind of wanted to put a nice button on this to say, don't be scared. Yes, AI is progressing. Yes, it is scary a little bit, and you get to feel that. But there are also so many people that share your concerns, and that are actively trying to share information to the right people, to get the attention of the right people so that they can address the risks of these things. So the fact that you're here is a huge deal, and I hope you share the information that Amy and Dr. Park and Ashley have all spent a long time giving you, because it's incredibly valuable. And you know, like I said, I post videos about this stuff all the time. I don't shut up about it. So you know, you're welcome to throw any information my way. I definitely don't give legal advice, obviously, but I am opinionated. So I would just say that, you know, venting is okay, as long as you are going into your decision informed and not scared. I think that's the biggest thing that we can do. So that's my piece on it. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you for letting me be a part of this and giving my 2 cents.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Melissa, for that. And Peter, we have a quick question from Peter that I'm going to unmute. Okay.
Hello, how you doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yes. All right, great. Yeah, sorry, I've been kind of splitting my. There was a presentation for stunt people specifically, which I am. So wanted to talk to a VFX person about that. One of the main things, because we were talking about digital doubles. Basically, his idea is that generative AI is very good at getting to 80%, and the last 20% is kind of where, you know, where the real work goes in for VFX. So for us, you know, that part of that 80% might be the reduction of production days. That's something that we do have to be ready for. Basically, he said that there will be some disruption, there will be some shakeup. He's very confident that it might cause more work in the long run, possibly. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what his idea was. Is Rob Netterhurst, that I'm sure some of you have seen. And so when it comes to this stuff, you know, another thing to think about is that AI is not just generative AI, and AI is not just, you know, this like nebulous like thing that, you know, they're creating. You know, it's integrating into everything. So VFX technology is actually using AI inside of the technology to make the VFX people more efficient, right? So right now, the use of digital doubles is time consuming and whatnot, but it got less time consuming with the AI components that were introduced to those softwares. And then we can expect that that will accelerate as time goes on, which I think that is kind of like the theme of what this was about. And so, as that goes on, VFX people will be able to do more work faster, get to 80% faster. And then that will mean some of us as live performers, maybe small amount and then growing over time. We have to kind of figure out for ourselves if we believe 3 years, like for the next negotiation, is enough time to have that be a worry or not. So, just keep in mind when you're talking about VFX and talking about AI use in it, it's not just completely creating something new, which is something that can happen, and then maybe they can use that as a starting point and create off the top of it. But also, in the traditional way that we shoot films, AI is being integrated into those systems, and machine learning is being integrated into those systems. And Disney has a digital human website that you can go to, just look it up in Google, digital human Disney. They have a whole website about it. There's Stuntronics when it comes to Imagineering. That's a whole division of it too. So those are things to be aware of. So, when it comes to traditional filmmaking, some of those processes are going to be streamlined, are going to become more cost efficient. And then that decision between VFX director and producers of whether or not it's cost efficient enough to use a double or to replace a performance with somebody or not, which is possible in certain, especially in stunts. Like saying like John Wick 3, the example that the VFX used, on the bridge where all the people are with swords on motorcycles. There were a couple of those crashes that were completely fabricated for safety reasons. I understand that, but it just shows that it is possible. He says very cost prohibitive, but that was 4 years ago when number 3 came out. There's also number 4, mind you, and then also in the last 4 months while we've been on strike, all these companies have been really investing in AI technologies. So that will reduce production days as more and more as we move forward, and then that will be a reduction in human labor as we move forward. So something to keep in mind. Also, kind of a plug here. I did start a petition that's on my Instagram about being on the human side of history. Kind of not just for SAG people, but for the general public to kind of show their support and like let the APTP know, let Congress know that we do want technology to enhance us and not replace us. So I would say just take a look. If you don't want to sign it, that's fine. If you do want to sign it, that'd be awesome. I mean, I'm just kind of using it as an experiment. I hope that maybe it can grab some traction. So anyways, that's what I had to say. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter. And yes, I saw the petition as well, and I love that idea of, the human side of history personally. Awesome. Yeah, this has been very informative, and thank you everyone for attending. And yeah, anything to say, or I think we're gonna end it. Yeah.
Yeah, just thank you so much for having us at StakeOut.AI. Just a quick reminder, please fill out the feedback form, and we would really appreciate any positive testimonials. Also, please feel free to reach out to us at StakeOut.AI and ask if we can help in any way. Our mission is to help you, and towards a global grassroots movement to make AI go well for humans. And we will do whatever it takes to achieve that mission and to help you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Very good to me. Thank you so much for attending, everyone, and have a great Friday. Bye. Thank you.